The Nigerian government has issued a directive to telecommunication companies to bar all outgoing calls and unlinked lines to the National Identification Number (NIN) from Monday. The directive was issued via a joint press statement by Ikechukwu Adinde, Director of Public Affairs, the National Communication Commission (NCC), and Kayode Adegoke, Head, Corporate Communications, National Identity Management Commission, on Monday. The deadlines for the NIN-SIM linkage have been extended on multiple occasions to allow Nigerians to freely comply with the policy. Joining us to look at the importance of this development is Rotimi Ajasa, Chairman, Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us. The linking of SIMs to NIN was viewed by many Nigerians as rather tiring, considering the amount of data the Nigerian state had collected before that time. How is the SIM linkage ignorous rather?
To really be sincere, it was a very taxing situation when most Nigerians were asked to also go out and register for the NIMS. Because most time, a lot of people have had one or two occasions in which their details have been captured before. You could remember some times ago when banks has the policy where everyone will have to, who have a bank account, we have to also have a BVN registration. There was also a time where before you could be able to even make use of your phone or get a new SIM rather, you also have to do a registration with your telco. So a lot of people have seen that one or two registration has already taken place. So why the NINs so far? But there is a time there, or there's a need in which there should be an harmonized system or harmonized database in which major informations that either deals with your demography, your facial, your picture, your biometrics, your digital signature should be in one single place where it can easily be
Okay, it seems the
where it can easily also be accessed, and access can also be given to those who actually need at that particular time.
Okay.
So NIMS will not stay with, say, a bank this time, but
go ahead. The network was interrupting, so your thought process was breaking up a bit. Mr. Jessa, go ahead. Okay. The network is acting up. If you can hear me, go ahead. Otherwise, I'll take you to the next step.
So that makes that news by the Nigerian. Okay, I can hear you, sure. Is it better?
Yes, it is better now. Go ahead.
Okay, so it makes NIMS to be very important for all Nigerians to be able to register. You might remember some states, especially like United States, where they have a social security number. That social security number is a unique identifier for an individual, and it can be used to verify you anywhere in which you are. The same thing is also what the NIMS is also doing, is your national identification number. When you have these digits, if I need to verify who you are, I probably do not need to have your ID card. Just give me that number. Then based on the level of access in which I have, I will be able to know who you are without having to worry maybe you have a stolen identity or not. So it contains a very good record, a good database of how to identify you or how to identify an individual here in the country.
The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy premised their action on security. If that is the case, why has it dragged this long? You also said that as well, in spite of extensions on 3 occasions before they are finally debarring calls.
So the process is not just a one-time process. To carry out this particular how processes, so to say, it's not just a one-day process. There has to be different handshaking that must take place. And when those handshaking takes place, it might require that we have some hiccups that will also occur at times. So it's going to be one level or the other. When a challenge is being met, they also have to look at the next stage, how they can also improve on it. So it took a long time. And we also see the reaction of Nigerian also. For us to be able to register, especially during the time where it was at the wake of COVID, it wasn't easy at all, because people have to find some other means to even live their life. So registration wasn't one of the important things for most Nigerians back then. So it becomes a very great challenge for people to be able to register. But as at this moment, that thing from the record that I've shown so far, nearly 125 million SIMs have already submitted their BVN for linkage. And I think we have about 70, I think nearly 80 million, getting to nearly 80 million NIN has also been issued. So it means there is a very great progress when we looked at what has been done so far, what we are right now, and also what will be done in the next couple of months, so to say.
Some would argue that the difference between debarring and blocking, blocking would be better. What's the difference between debarring and blocking? Wouldn't it have been better to block than to debar?
Okay, so for this, it's like you going to the bank for an example. You did not make use of your account for a little while. It won't be accurate, or it won't be right for the bank to close your account totally and ask you to come afresh with all your details. But it is better to deactivate the account, so to say. When you are able to present identification that is needed, that is required, then it can be opened. So it makes the process a bit much easier. So if a call is being barred, it means that if that person really wants to make use of that SIM, he will have to go and link it with his NIN and get it registered. So instead of taking you out totally of your line, which might not be so advisable, so to say, it is better to just put a restriction. Whenever you have the information that is needed, whenever the linkage is being done, then you could be able to make your calls or do any other things that you want to do with your SIM. So it's much better when we have, instead of you being blocked totally, it's better that people are being barred, at least for the little time in which they will be able to do the necessary registration.
All right, could the fear that Nigeria's communication may be monitored by government be a reason why many have been reluctant to link their SIMs?
Well, nothing is not possible. Although there are also levels to privacy of individuals. It has been an ongoing issue. There has been a legal battle regarding this. There also be a technological battle regarding this. And both the legal aspect and also the technological aspect has been considered together. The security of it has also been considered together. When we looked at the whole thing, we just want to be sure of something. There is no crime when we have a unified identification number. First, most of what those identification numbers can do, they are more than what we can even see right now. It can even curb the rate of insecurity. Fraud level can also be reduced. The time that we also spend for our identification can also be reduced. Imagine you need to go to probably some very high places where your identification is needed and you are not with your ID card and you provide your NIN, just the number. Probably you even have it by heart, just the way you have your phone number. And it can easily be verified and you are known to be the person. You probably might not need to even carry an ID card around for that. So it identifies you. So there are so many advantages that we have on this compared to what disadvantages are. And when we talk about the tracking, to some extent, it's also good to some extent. I'll give you an example. If somebody is missing, there should be a way in which you can know where was the last place where this person was. When has this person even checked out of the country? Those are what we can quickly use to identify. If you also want to know the total number of people who are still living, who are in Nigeria presently, that can also be used to know. If you want to know how many people happen to travel out of Nigeria within the past maybe 3-4 months time, we can quickly check with that. Those information, because it's linked, makes it much easier and transparent.
Yeah, so I mean, we have multiple IDs. We have the driver's license, we have the NIN, we have the BVN, national passports, just to name a few of them. What is being done, do you think, to link all of these together so Nigerians can just walk around with one card?
So major purpose of NIN is to ensure that NIN becomes like a parent identifications that we have. Parent identification in the sense that you probably might not even need those other ones for some purposes, though it will always be different.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rotimi Ajasa, for speaking with us on the news.
Thank you.